Just a quick talk about some of the movie ideas we're going through right now in the 60s. Again, we're looking at 4 movies through the 60s in this period. We looked at Bonnie and Clyde. This week we'll look at The Graduate and also Easy Rider. Then next week, the only X-rated movie to ever win the Academy Award, as I keep saying over and over again, Midnight Cowboy. So those 4 movies, let's really think about those 4 movies. We've got Bonnie and Clyde, more violence in movies. We've got The Graduate, more explicit sexual scenes in movies. We've got Easy Rider, more use of drugs, casual use of drugs, and then very explicit sexual images and imagery and concepts in Midnight Cowboy. The star, John Voight, the star of the movie, is actually a male hustler looking to earn money from sexual liaisons with both men and women in New York City. The Midnight Cowboy. But what we really need to think about is the old system of what we call the Hays Code that was around in the 50s. If we look at some of the movies from the 50s, Rebel Without a Cause, Blackboard Jungle, and The Wild One, these movies are not rated. When we look at the actual movie box, it says not rated. None of this PG, R kind of stuff. And so in those days, there was a code. There was a movie code that the Hollywood movie makers ascribed to, and they would submit their scripts to the code people, and they would submit their films to the code people, and then the movies would be changed somewhat according to the censors. And it was sort of a self-censorship concept. So there wasn't ratings per se. There was just a code and a system that everybody worked under. Now this all changed in the 60s as society is going through the big change in the 60s with sex, drugs, rock and roll, and all this good stuff, or bad stuff, however you look at it. A little good, a little bad. And so it was decided about 66, 67 that a new system was needed, a completely different idea, a new concept. So we no longer are going to use the old code. We're going to have a rating system, completely different, where movies would be made and then submitted and then rated by a rating board. And if you didn't like the rating, then you could argue and possibly cut your movie and create a slightly different version of the movie and maybe get it rated differently. But really the concept was now that you make the movie the way you want to make it and then just submit it and it's rated. And it's very, very much a different system. And of course now our rating system, established in late 67, 68, was the general, parental, mature, and X. In other words, GPMX. The original rating system. It changed later to include PG. X was changed to NC-17. M was changed to R. So it did go through some changes. And as you look at the 4 movies, I believe Bonnie and Clyde still has the original M rating because of its violence. The Graduate was re-rated a few times and is now considered a PG movie under a new rating system. Easy Rider again was re-rated from M to R, so it's considered an R movie. And Midnight Cowboy, which we'll see next week, was originally an X movie, but then later got an R rating. So the idea really has changed from the old Hays Code, where the movies were basically self-censored, to the new system where we're rating movies, and we can look at a rating on a movie. Now some people will say that this has caused a faster decline in the use of drugs, sexuality, violence in movies, and we'll talk about that more as we move into more censorship in music. So this week, be sure you read all the material. There's some very good write-ups on both Easy Rider and The Graduate. Watch all of the movie clips, just some excerpts, some good stuff though. And be thinking about these rating systems. Do they help or do they make things worse? Are we on that slippery slope? And next week we'll be doing Midnight Cowboy and talking about how things changed so much from 1964. And if you have a chance, Google and see who won the Academy Award. See which movie won the Academy Award in 1964. And then Midnight Cowboy did win the Academy Award in '69. We'll see how much things changed. So, movies. Check them out.